listening to CBS Sports Central Texas, KWBT HD2 Waco, Temple, Killeen, Fort Hood is CBS Sports Central Texas, changing sports radio.
Hello, and welcome back to Centex Primetime, everybody. Happy Friday Eve as we are getting ready for the weekend here, and some great football is getting ready to be played starting tonight as the NFL season is kicking off this weekend, folks, and we are definitely excited here on Centex Primetime as we get near the start of kickoff, about 2 hours away from right now, as the Kansas City Chiefs will be taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Folks, we got a full schedule here today as we get ready to talk about some football. We got a lot of NFL talk to talk about here today. But before we do get started talking about some NFL today, we're going to talk a little bit of high school football as well. As we know, we're gearing up and getting ready for high school football here in the Central Texas area and this greater Waco area. A lot of good games getting ready to happen, and a lot of good games getting ready to happen, or a lot of good games already happened last weekend, and we'll get to talk about some of those as well. But some good games coming up this coming up weekend. Tomorrow, we'll see a full slate of games from all the teams in the greater Waco area as we get ready for the football season, high school football season here in Central Texas. So joining me here for the first part of the show, I have got the voice of the radio broadcast that we do here with La Vega football right here on 94.5 Magic and 94.5 FM. If you guys are getting ready to listen to that this weekend, that will be at 7:30 tomorrow as La Vega will be taking on Salina. I've got the play-by-play man here with me, Mr. Cedric Igahar. Ced, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Just getting ready to watch some of these games we got coming up for the weekend. So, you got a chance to see this La Vega team get off to a great start to their season last week as La Vega was able to come out on top 45-15 against Kennedale, a good Kennedale team that we thought was really good, or we expect to be good throughout the rest of this season, but just that in that week one, they ran into what looked to be like a buzzsaw in this La Vega team, especially their defense. The start of the game off great. First play of the game goes for a touchdown. I mean, what more can you want from your team starting off the first play of the season? That's got to be a good luck sign, if nothing else, for how the season is going to go. But, Sam, just tell us about a little bit what you got to see last week watching this La Vega team.
What we saw last week was, just like you alluded to, La Vega came out and just punched Kennedale in the mouth from the very beginning, and they never looked back. La Vega has a lot of talent at the skill positions. They have a defense that runs to the football. These guys swarm to the ball. This is going to be a team that's going to have to be reckoned with going forward in this season. Expecting to see a lot of wins. And I know Coach Hyatt might want to get it on to me for being a jinx, but I really expect La Vega to win a lot of football games this year. 9-10 wins type stuff.
Yeah, I'm expecting a lot of big things. Like you said, I'm right with you, and he'll have to get on to both of us because I'm expecting a lot of W's in the column for this team as they get ready. And they showed that this team's got a lot of depth. Trying to get back to that powerhouse juggernaut status that they've been in this Coach Hyde era over the last decade, and they're coming in ranked in the season, ranked in 4A Division II, and trying to move up that ladder some more. I know a lot of teams, it would be a great thing for them to be ranked number 8 in the state coming into the season, but for La Vega, they're used to being 1, 2, 3, and 4, somewhere in that range, and they definitely came out and made a statement. They've got a lot of depth on this team. We watched them play 2 quarterbacks in this game. We saw multiple running backs getting off. We know that the mainstay, Bryson Rowland, the 4-year starter, he got off to a great start, 65 yards, 2 touchdowns, as he's picking up right where he left off and expected to break the 5,000-yard mark for his career at La Vega. Well, we got to see another guy get in there, and Raekwon Kennedy come in and go for almost 100 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. We know this La Vega team loves running the football, and this offense looks to be potent. Just talk about, what you got to see from this offense and the depth that they have on this offense.
Yeah, anytime you don't need Bryson Rowland to carry a heavy load, that tells you that you got a lot of depth there.
Yeah.
They really didn't need him after the first half.
Yeah.
A lot of depth. Like you said, they played two quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks look good. One was a sophomore.
Yeah.
And he played with a lot of poise. They were pretty much interchangeable in terms of running the offense. They do want to run the football. And we saw the depth when we saw they put Raekwon Kennedy in the game. And Raekwon, listen, this La Vega offense is they're put together in a way to where they're going to play power football.
Yeah.
We're just going to say, okay, we're going to run through this hole, open this hole up, and get our back to go through this hole. It's not complicated. It's not complicated. But it is a situation where we know that our bigs are better than your bigs, and if we're wrong, then you gotta show that.
Yeah.
You gotta you know what I mean? They didn't do anything. There was not a lot of misdirection. It was very straightforward power football. And whenever you have a team that can play power football like that, you know that you got a good squad on your hands.
Oh yeah, and we know that's what this La Vega team is used to. When we've seen them at their peaks, winning multiple state titles in the last 10 years, that running the football has been a mainstay with them, and they always had great athletes on the outside that they've learned how to get the ball. This year, it's the Thornton kid, and we got a chance to see him. He was you guys' player of the game, had over 100 yards total offense in the game. They got some special kids out there, and then when you talk about the defensive side of the ball, I mean, they didn't give Kennedale any ground. They came out straight from the beginning. Like we said, they took the opening kickoff back to the house, but after that, I mean, they really just kind of got in and hunkered down on this Kennedale team, not giving them much of any life as Kennedale tried to, make a couple runs here and there. It's not much they could really do there. Caden Rowland on this team had 12 tackles and a sack to go along with that. And then you got guys like Broderick Scott had 15 tackles for this team. They were flying around the football, man. Getting a chance to see them and watching you guys broadcast, getting a chance to see this Pirate defense. I'm like, man, like you said, Coach Hyde, he doesn't want to get anything going too early there and kind of temper expectations some. But the way they're flying around this football, the sky's the limit so far for this La Vega team. Yeah,
this is a team that is full of athletes.
Yeah.
Especially on the defensive side of the ball. You talked about Broderick Scott. Listen, every time it seemed like every time there was a tackle that was being made, he was coming up out of the pile.
Yeah.
These kids, like I say, they when you watch them play, you understand that they know what to do with their aggression. They're aggressive on defense, and they swarm to the football. Kennedale was a very good football program.
Yeah.
Okay. Historically, a very good football program.
Sure.
But they really neutralized Kennedale from the start. Kennedale could not do anything until La Vega called the dogs off and started putting in the twos.
Yeah.
I mean, they went out and they just literally stifled what's a good Kennedale offense. But this week is going to be a big test. Salina is 4A D1. La Vega's D2. Mm-hmm. Salina is number 4 in the ranking right now. So it's going to be a really big test. Hoping to see the same. If La Vega brings the same energy that they brought last Friday, I think they're going to be okay. But I think we're in for a good football game this week.
Yeah, I'm very excited, and just to segue into right what you're talking about, La Vega coming in ranked. They got another ranked team coming in, like you said, 4A Division I, and Salina is going to be coming to town, and this is going to be a big matchup. We were talking before the show and talking about how Coach Hyde likes to pack this pre-district schedule, and so he can know what his team is going to look like. He wants to put them through the wire to start off the season, so they're not expecting nothing is different or nothing throws them off as they get further into district. But they've got a big-time matchup coming in this weekend in Salina. They are no joke at all, and this is going to be, I think, the best game in Central Texas this weekend coming up. There's some more good games that are going to be taking place this weekend as well, or on Friday as well. But this got to be the premier game coming into Friday night, man. I mean, Salina coming to town, that's a huge deal. Like you said, if they can bring that same energy, what do you think some of the keys to the game? And I know we'll get further into that as we have the pregame show tomorrow, folks. Make sure you tune in for that tomorrow as well. That's going to be at 7 o'clock right here on CBS Sports Central Texas, and it'll be on 94.5 FM if you want to listen on there. If you're in your car and you want to jump on the dial as well, you'll be able to listen to that. But what do you think La Vega's got to come in and do to be able to pull off a win against Salina on Friday?
Yeah, let's start off by saying this. This is going to be a matchup of two heavyweights.
Yeah,
these are two teams who are both going to be in the playoffs. I'm sorry, Coach Hyde, for saying that, but no, these are really among the two of the best programs in the state in the 4A classification.
Yeah.
In order for La Vega to get a win, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to make sure that they, defensively, they're going to have to be sound on defense, have to play assignment football. Salina's going to run a little misdirection. This is kind of, what they do. So they're not straightforward attack. They're going to do some counters and things like that, traps.
Yeah.
So the defense for La Vega is going to have to play sound assignment football on defense, and offensively, just throw some Bryson Rollum at him.
Yeah, a heavy dose of that should definitely get the job done. And we're expecting to see a lot from him this season, and we'll for sure see more of him on Friday night against Salina. Folks, I want to thank everybody that's been watching with us so far. Make sure you guys go on to the YouTube if you want to watch this content. Go to youtube.com. Check us out there at Centex Sports TV. You can watch this every day or weekdays, 5 to 7 p.m. Go on there, leave some comments, let us know some things you want to hear from us and what you want to talk about during the show. If you want to listen to this content, you can go to centexsports1.com, or you can download the app on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store at Centex Sports 1. You can download the app there and watch the content as well, or you can listen to this 5 to 7 weekdays. I'm here with the play-by-play man for La Vega football here on Magic 94.5, and here with Cedric Eigelhart. You've got a chance to be around this La Vega program for a few weeks now, and you've got a chance to see Coach Hyde in his element with this team. What are some of the things that you've just picked up from Coach Hyde that, helps him be able to sustain the success that they've had over the last decade? I mean, it's a really great run that he's been on since he's took over the helms at La Vega. He's been in this La Vega program for years, but he's been the head coach for about a decade now and had tremendous success since he's took over. What are some of those things that you've seen just being around him that can attribute to that?
Yeah, the thing that strikes you about Coach Hyde is he's a sincere person. For sure. He says what he means and he means what he says. And I think that the reason why we've seen such sustained success with La Vega under his tutelage during his reign is because he's the same person every day.
Yeah.
And so, there's just a continuity there that takes place. It doesn't really matter who the kids are because I'm going to teach them all the same way. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So there's a discipline that about Coach Hyde that just kind of strikes you in the face from the very first time that you meet him.
Yeah.
And him, and even though, and listen, a lot of times when you say that, these coaches kind of end up turning into tyrants.
Yeah.
but Coach Hyde is also a man of understanding. He knows how to take criticism. He knows how to be flexible. Mm-hmm. If I need to change something, I'll change something.
Yeah.
So Coach Hyde is he's a very unique type of man in the sense that whatever he says goes. But at the same time, if I need to make a switch, mm-hmm. Let's talk about that. Let's look at that.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100% on how he's been able to sustain this success that he's had, and you've got to be a people person to be able to work with these kids for this long and have that much type of success. You've got to be able to adapt and adjust on the fly, and I think he's been doing a great job of that. So definite salute to Coach Hyde, and we're looking forward to seeing them tomorrow in action. That game is at 7 o'clock, I believe, and they'll be taking on a powerhouse. Like you said, this is a heavyweight fight, folks, so make sure you guys are getting ready to tune in. That will be right here on Centex Sports 1. You can be able to listen to this content and listen to the game tomorrow, or you can listen on the dial, 94.5 FM. They'll be right there, and Cedric Egerhart will be leading the way. Said, before we let you go, man, I want to talk about a couple of these college games, man, and we got NFL season starting tonight as well. Before the show, we were getting a chance to talk about Texas, and we know that is the premier game, I think, of the weekend coming into college football weekend. Texas going up to the Big House in Ann Arbor, taking on Michigan, the national champs from last year. Texas looked good in their first game, 52-0. It was against Colorado State, who we know is not on up to par of a Texas, but they're still a good D1 school. And to go out here and beat them 52-0, which we didn't see from some of these other top programs that got wins, like a Michigan or like an Oregon, Texas, they took care of business, and they did it in a great way, seeing them come in and knock off Colorado State like that. Now they've got a huge test, just about as big as a test you can get to start the season. You got the national champs from last year. That's your reward for having such a great game last week. You get to take a 3 or 4 hour flight and go play in front of 110,000 people that are going to be screaming at you and play the national champs from last year. So previewing this game, man, what are some of the things that the one that you like that you saw last week from Texas and then that you think can translate into this game on Saturday?
Yeah, well, we know Texas is loaded at skill positions.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a question about who was going to be the running back coming in after having so many kids leave and go pro. Texas is loaded at the skill position.
Yeah.
If listen, in my opinion, Texas doesn't necessarily have to go in here and win this game, but if they go into this type of environment, this is the most hostile environment you could ever go into in the whole country. Like I said, 110,000 people are going to show up to root against you.
Yeah.
Okay. So if Texas can just, as young as they are, they're not very. They don't have a lot of their skill positions. There's not a lot of the inexperience there.
Yeah.
But if you can go into that environment and compete, Texas is going to be okay. They don't necessarily have to win this game, but can they win this game? I think they can, because the way that Sarkisian is probably one of the best play callers in the country.
Yeah,
Coach Sarkisian is probably one of the best play callers in the country. And I think from a man-to-man standpoint, I think Texas is probably more talented than the Michigan team.
Yeah, for sure.
So if they just are able to go into this environment and maintain themselves and do what they what they're coached to do, I think Texas can really pull this win off.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge game this weekend, folks. I'm like I've been saying all week, I don't know why this game is at 11 o'clock. I don't know how this didn't get the primetime slot for the weekend, but maybe it's just the way that it needed to shake out. This needs to be the 11 o'clock game. But we'll be up. I know for sure all of Texas will be up, and we'll be watching as Texas travels down to Michigan to take them on. And, folks, college football season starting this weekend, but the biggest of them all, NFL season starts tonight, everybody. It starts tonight, and we're going to talk some NFL as we go out throughout the show. But Seth, I want to get your opinion on a couple of these games, man. It starts tonight. The champs, the two-time champs, Patrick Mahomes, looking at it's ring night. I'm sure they're going to be celebrating. The banner's going to drop, all that kind of stuff, and it's going to be in front of the guy that they beat, the MVP from last year, the guy that they beat in the AFC Championship, man. The Baltimore Ravens traveling to Kansas City to take on the two-time champs. Trying to start their season off on a bad note is what the Ravens are trying to do and stop them from three-peating, being the first team that we've ever seen three-peat in the National Football League. They've got a chance to do it this year. But coming into this game, man, what do you think about these two teams matching up against each other again after they just played last year, getting a chance to play each other again this year? Lamar trying to prove a point as he's coming in as the MVP, but he still hasn't made that Super Bowl run yet. So how do you see this game shaking out?
I think the last time that we saw these two teams play each other, Baltimore did not play Baltimore Raven football.
Yeah.
The Ravens have led the league in rushing, I think, the last 3 seasons, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to beat Patrick Mahomes at his own game. You're not going to be able to out-Mahomes Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Okay? So I think what you're going to see tonight, we know that the big splash that they made in free agency was bringing in Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they're going to run the football tonight. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to run the ball, and then they're going to run the ball again. Yeah. This is what we're going to see. And Baltimore have just enough talent at the wide receiver position. You know, guys like Zay Flowers. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can get a sighting out of
Bateman out there too.
Maybe he'll show up. Yeah. Okay, but and then, you know, Mark Andrews is one of the best tight ends in the game. For sure. So they don't have to throw the ball, but when they do throw the ball, I think that they're effective in doing that. Lamar is not necessarily the most accurate passer in the league, but you know, when they do throw the ball, we're not talking about deep shots down the field. It's just move the sticks type football. Yeah. And I think Baltimore wins this game tonight. Kansas City is kind of notoriously a slow starter on the season, but we all know, you know, when it gets to December, you know, we're going to look at the standings and they're going to be at the top. Yeah. You know, that's just how they roll. But I think tonight we're going to see a low scoring football game. I think Baltimore is going to run the ball, try to limit the opportunities that Patrick Mahomes has, you know, on offense for Kansas City. I think we're looking at it like a 24-20 type ball game tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think Baltimore's got a chance to come in and win tonight. They've got a lot to prove. Kansas City's got a lot to prove throughout the season, but I think Baltimore has a lot to prove tonight and how they'll take on this team that knocked them out the playoffs last year. I know Lamar Jackson is looking to get his get back, and I'm excited to see how Derrick Henry can translate in this new offense that he's going to be in with the Baltimore Ravens. Go ahead.
No, I just want to ask your opinion because you said this in the setup.
Yeah.
Three-peat.
Yeah.
What do you think the chances are of pulling off a three-peat this year?
I'm a guy that thinks fatigue at some point has to kick in. We've seen it happen in the NBA with some of these teams that are perennially good every year, and they don't take near as a physical load that the NFL players have to take. I think at some point, man, the train's got to stop at some point. I think we haven't seen three-peat in the league for a reason. Now, if anybody's had a best chance to do it, it's this Kansas City team because it really revolves around one guy. I mean, it doesn't – last year was the least talented we've seen Kansas City be probably since the Mahomes era has started. They're used to having Tyreek Hill out here and all these guys. Even on defense, they'll have different guys. And last year, on the receiver room was probably the least talented it's been. Somehow, some way, NFL GMs let them draft the fastest 40 time of all time and let them get Xavier Worthy. They add Hollywood Brown, one of the fastest guys already in the league, even though he'll be out tonight. They add him to the room. They bring in Juju Smith-Schuster back, as he was a big part of that championship run they had 2 years ago. He ended up being one of their big receivers as they went on to the playoffs. They bring him back into the fold, and you still got Travis Kelce.
And in addition to that, Rashee Rice is back.
And you still have Rashee Rice, who was your Juju type of guy last year. Now you'll have both of those guys in the slot to take some pressure off Travis, and you got two dudes that just got burners on the end with Marquise Brown and Xavier Worthy. Man, I think at some point the fatigue has to kick in. But Kansas City looks good, man. It's tough. It's going to be tough for me to pick anybody against them right now, honestly. But we'll see as the season progresses. Like you said, they're notoriously a slow starter, but we know when it starts getting cold outside, they seem to lock in. Andy Reid pulls that team together and pulls some wins off. So definitely expecting another great season of NFL football. One more thing before we let you go. I see you got your Eagles hat on in here, man, so I got to ask you about the Eagles. They play on Friday, and I think the first time that we'll see an NFL game in Brazil. So they're trying some new stuff. Green Bay is going to be playing Philly in Brazil on a Friday night, which we usually is reserved for high school football, but there's going to be a lot going on this Friday as the Eagles will be taking on the Green Bay Packers, man. And what do you think this Eagles team is going to look like? We just talked about the Chiefs adding some additions. The Philadelphia Eagles have added some additions, man, and I'm always joking with some of my friends saying, like, seems like the salary cap doesn't apply to these dudes. They find a way. Howie Roseman finds a way to get some money out of nowhere every time. They find money to get Saquon. They get A.J. Brown paid. They get Jalen Hurts paid. The O-line loses its mainstay in Jason Kelce, and the O-line has a chance to be better than it was last year, which is crazy to say. So, I mean, when you see all the retooling that Philly has done after a disappointing season last year. What do you think about Philly coming into this season?
There's a reason why NFL teams go into decline, and it's because the general manager is not very competent.
Yeah.
We see that a lot with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Okay. Howie Roseman puts on a master class every year to how to GM. Howie Roseman, like I say, some kind of way he works the cap. Nobody works the cap better than Howie Roseman.
Nobody.
Okay. How can you we're talking about a era in the NFL now to where running backs are devalued.
Mm-hmm.
But you find a way to pay Saquon Barkley, $30 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that what we're going to see now, last year, the Eagles started off hot, and then they hit this historic decline. I think they lost, 8 games in a row, something like that? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They really played themselves out of contention.
Yeah, they did.
I don't think you're going to see that because I had a conversation with a friend of mine. And he was like, well, what has changed to why would I have any confidence in the Eagles this year? Well, what's changed, and don't look at what's changed, look at what has not changed. You still have Nick Sirianni as a coach, okay? So the culture is still there. Mm-hmm. And the thing about, and I always say this about Eagles fans versus Cowboy fans, Cowboy fans expect to win it every single year, even if it's not even a realistic thing. Eagles fans are going to tell you, "Hey, listen, we suck."
Yeah,
and they're going to be vocal about that.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a reasonable expectation to perform because they know that their fans aren't going to just tolerate anything.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys are going to sell out every home game.
Mm-hmm.
I think. And you brought this out of me as an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
But Jerry Jones is only going to be willing to do so much to put a winning team on the field because he knows that even if we don't win,
still selling out.
I'm still selling out. I'm just here to make money.
Yeah.
I'm just here to make money. I'm not necessarily here. There's a reason why there's a whole generation of people who never see a Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl. Okay. But that's not the culture in Philly.
Yeah.
The culture in Philly is listen, show up, work hard, perform, because if you don't, we're gonna let you hear about it.
Yeah.
So I think you're gonna see a renewed focus in Philly this year. And I think, the fact that they went out and, paid for somebody like Saquon Barkley, when running backs are basically a dime a dozen now in the league, that shows you how serious they are about trying to turn this thing around.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I'm looking for big things out of Philly this year on a rebound year, coming back in. Like you said, they've retooled. They got the best GM, and I'm not surprised about any of your comments about the Cowboys because Philly and Cowboys fans, when you get them in there, you can't talk to a Cowboys fan without Philly coming up. You can't talk to a Philly fan without Dallas coming up. So kind of what's up.
By nature, as being a Philly fan, I'm not allowed to have anything positive to say about the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, I'm used to seeing that. And we're expecting big things from them. They'll play on Friday, like we said, a little bit different, change of scenery. They play Friday in Brazil, so I believe that game's at 7:15. So we're looking for a good game out of that one, too. Green Bay closed the season out looking good, so I'm excited to watch that game. Folks, we got a lot of football to watch this weekend, starting with high school football, college on Saturday, and we've got the NFL tonight and on Sunday as well. Cedric, I want to appreciate you, man, for coming on here and talking some high school football, man. Excited to watch you guys broadcast tomorrow as La Vega taking on Salina. Remember, everybody, you can listen to that content right here on 94.5 FM, 94.5 Magic, and right here on Infinity Sports Radio, Central Texas. Getting ready to go to a quick break, folks. When we come back, I'm going to bring on some of the fellas, and we are going to break down some of these NFL games we got for this weekend. NFL kickoff starts tonight. We are excited. We're about 2 hours away from kickoff, and we cannot wait, folks. Stay tuned right here on Centex Primetime. We'll be right back.
When you suffer an injury at home, work, or on the road involving a car, 18-wheeler, or motorcycle, the first thing you need to do before calling anyone is dial 1-800-INJURIES for locally owned and operated the Zimmerman Law Firm. Hey, this is Big Rich, and the Zimmerman Law Firm has represented thousands of Central Texans in the last 50-plus years and handled more personal injury cases than any other local firm. When you call the Zimmerman Law Firm, you talk to a lawyer, no matter how big or small your case, and they guarantee you're financially taken care of because they only get paid when you win. Hey, don't just take my word for it. Heart of Texas Readers' Choice has named Zimmerman Law Firm the best in Waco. So remember, if you get injured at home, work, or on the road, it just takes one call, y'all, to 1-800-INJURIES or zlawhelp.com for the Zimmerman Law Firm and tell them I told you to call. Principal Office, Waco, Texas. No fee unless you recover.
It's the family feels for me. The banana pudding peach cobbler make you want to holler for me. It's the candy yams, mac and cheese, beef tips, pork tips and rice, collard greens. It's the sweet potato pie, sweetie. Fried chicken you've been missing, the lemon sweet tea dressing on Sundays when you all dressed up. Chest pie, buttermilk, and pound cake. Cornbread with butter just dripping, always fresh baked. If you need Southern style, soul food, home cooked meals that you can feel. Chicken and dumplings, chicken pot pie. 719 South 11th Street. Sassy's, come on by.
NSJ Event Co., one of the premier event designers in Central Texas and a Centex Sports Network supporter. Voted Waco Awards Event Planner of the Year 2021, NSJ Event Co. is your go-to source for event planning. Whether it's your next baby shower, birthday bash, wedding, or retirement party, NSJ Event Co. will bring out the elegance, class, and style your event deserves. Call NSJ Event Co. at the number on the screen or scan the QR code to schedule a free consultation. NSJ Event Co., where the party lady takes care of all your event needs.
Are you looking for something new and unforgettable in Waco? Come to the Blasian Asian, where authentic Cambodian flavors meet creative culinary flair. Voted People's Choice as Waco's #1 Asian restaurant since 2019 by both the Wacoan Magazine and the Waco Tribune Herald. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin, we're serving up family recipes with a twist. Blasian Asian egg rolls are rolled fresh daily, and their sauces or marinades are made in-house with love. Stop by today. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. And for Baylor students, enjoy 10% off with your student ID.
Central Texas, learn how to be a part of 254 Media Group, home of Magic 94.5, 94.5 The Beat, and CBS Sports Radio 94.5 HD2. Inquiring businesses, please call 254-252-4206. That's 254-252-4206. Or email Roy at 254mediagroup.com.
It's the family feels for me. The banana pudding peach cobbler make you want to holler for me. It's the candy yams, mac and cheese, beef tips, pork tips and rice, collard greens. It's the sweet potato pie, sweetie. Fried chicken you've been missing, the lemon sweet tea dressing on Sundays when you all dressed up. Chest pie, buttermilk, and pound cake. Cornbread with butter just dripping, always fresh baked. If you need Southern style, soul food, home cooked meals that you can feel. Chicken and dumplings, chicken pot pie. 719 South 11th Street. Sassy's, come on by.
CBS Sports Central Texas, KWBT HD2 Waco, Temple, Killeen, Fort Hood is CBS Sports Central Texas, changing sports radio.
Welcome back, everybody, as we are here on Centex Primetime. I'm your host, Jalen Gillis, and we're getting ready for the NFL season kicking off tonight. Everybody, that game is about 2 hours away, and we are excited to see the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Kansas City to take on the world champs in their house as they're getting ready for the banner drop. And not sure if they get their rings or not today, but I know they'll be doing their banner today as they look to go in here and get an upset win on the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Kansas City Chiefs look to get started on their three-peat. And we've got a lot of topics to cover here in the NFL. I'm bringing in a couple of the fellas here to talk about some NFL with me today. I'll be joined by Kyrell Gibson on here with me. I got Quay with me as well, and PJ calling in with us, and we're going to go through some of these NFL games as we get ready for the season. PJ, I'll check with you first. Can you hear me on here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Kyrell, do we got you over there in Dallas?
We're here.
I know you heard him. We had a Philly fan on here talking about some Eagles, man. I know you heard that.
I ain't hear nothing. I got a hat on.
Quay, you all good? Can you hear me out there?
My boy, what's up with it?
Man, chilling, getting ready to watch these games here tonight. All right, fellas, we know NFL season starts tonight. Kansas City taking on the Ravens. Kansas City beat this team in the AFC Championship last year, 14-10, as the Chiefs went on to eventually win the Super Bowl after knocking off the MVP in Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's kind of retooled his squad a little bit, and they brought in Derrick Henry. They're going to be a little bit young in the secondary as they start some young guys, but they brought in some veteran leadership as well, adding guys like Eddie Jackson in the secondary as well. Kansas City Chiefs seem to just retool like they always do. They got Xavier Worthy in the draft, first round. They brought in Marquise Brown. They brought back Juju Smith-Schuster. And this team looking to make another run under the head coach, Andy Reid. So want to get you guys' opinion on this game for tonight. PJ, we'll start with you, man. What do you think about the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs playing here tonight at 7:30?
Well, I picked the Ravens yesterday, so I think I'm going to stay with the Ravens.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that running game going to be crazy tonight. And that's really what I'm ready to see. I'm ready to see Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry both, on the same offense, and just see how the offense is going to be looking. As far as with the defense, I think their defense is still going to be good. I feel like they're going to still get some points scored on them just because Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense look like they're going to be explosive as well. I just don't think that they'll be able to kind of hang with the Ravens, at least not this early in the season.
No, I agree. I agree. I kind of got Baltimore tonight, too. I know Kansas City, a 3-point favorite in this one, but I'm excited to see what this new running game looks like with Derrick Henry. Quay, what you think about the game tonight, man?
Honestly, I think, like I said, I believe that the Ravens going to get out to a hot start. I think Lamar going to come in with a vision, but none of this matters until the playoffs get here, and I think this game will come down to who got the last possession. And if we know if Patrick Mahomes got it, you know what kind of night it's going to be.
Yeah, if Mahomes gets that last possession, it's tough. It's tough for everybody. And I agree. It could be a possession game. Comes down to it. Even Vegas thinks that they got it a 3-point game. If it comes down to that last possession, you don't want the ball in 15's hands. Kyra, what do you think about tonight's matchup with Kansas City and Baltimore?
I'm excited, man. It's kind of like a Super Bowl for me because these are the two strong teams. I think the NFC's kind of weak, outside of San Francisco. But I'm expecting heavy dose of running backs. I actually don't expect them to run Lamar a whole lot today. But I am expecting a lot of increase for that running back room to keep Patrick off the field and just to keep Lamar healthy and not, and arms that are decent. So I'm excited, though. I'm taking the Ravens. So let me know what that means. We all taking the Ravens if the Chiefs don't win. But I'm sticking to that pick, man. I'm expecting a close game. Slow game, lots of time of possession on Baltimore's part, and I'm just still expecting fireworks on the Kansas City side. So I think they'll lead the whole game, and Kansas City will be chasing by eventually lose.
Yeah, I'm with you. If we're all picking Baltimore tonight, Kansas City is most definitely winning. So if y'all out here ain't made your bets yet, you might want to go with Kansas City because if everybody's getting on the same panel and picking them all at once, then, yeah, it's got to go the other direction. But I like Baltimore's chances, man. I'm excited to see Lamar get out here in the second year in this offense with Todd Monken. They get a real running back. They've always had a running game, but they get a real running back in that fold, and excited to see what they'll be able to do moving forward. And just thinking about this Ravens team, we know what Kansas City's ceiling is. They got 2 championships. But I want to get y'all's opinion on what do you think the ceiling is for this Baltimore team? Is this a team good enough to make a run? We know that they're a little bit younger in the secondary. Marlon Humphrey seems to get hurt almost every year. Knock on wood, hopefully he stays healthy. But they got a lot of youth in their secondary. They're retooling on that front 7 as well. They got some youth in that front 7. They brought in a veteran like Kyle Van Noy on the outside to be able to help bolster their defense. They got Roquan Smith, who's arguably the best linebacker in the league, or between him and Fred Warner, you can really pick either one of those. But just thinking about this Baltimore team, do we think that they have enough to be able to make a real Super Bowl run? Lamar's got 2 MVPs. He's cool on that, and he's got enough of that. And he knows what he has to do against Mahomes, even starting tonight. He had a quote in their pregame presser talking about Mahomes. He said, "I don't have a relationship with him. I don't think I have a relationship with any quarterbacks in the league." So Lamar is kind of, he don't want to be buddy-buddy with these dudes, especially now with the guy that keeps consistently beating him. But what do you think that this Baltimore team can do going forward this season? Do they have enough to win a Super Bowl? Quay, I'll start with you on this. Do we think does it look like Baltimore has enough this year to be able to get it done and get all the way to the final game?
Well, they've had enough the last couple of years, to be honest. Lamar's been playing great. They got a good safety. What's the safety, Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle Hamilton.
Kyle Hamilton coming off of our postseason. He's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have all these pieces. They do have injuries that come in, but now you're going to get a Derrick Henry. You still got a good coach, good offensive line, good defense, but you're going to keep running in the kryptonite. It's 15.
Yeah.
You have to beat them. Like, that's just what it is. Like, no matter what, this game won't test anything, measure anything, because like people said, we've seen Kansas City start off a little slow. Didn't they? Who they lose to last year at the beginning of the year?
I think Buffalo.
But no, it wasn't Buffalo. It was a team that wasn't supposed to beat them, the Bears or something.
In the beginning of the season, yeah, I think they were 4-4 halfway through the season, so they had a couple bad losses.
So that's what I'm saying. So like this won't be a determining factor what the playoffs bring, because we've seen Patrick Mahomes start off with drops and turn these receivers into notable receivers by the time it's the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's like the Ravens have all the makeup of a championship game, but you're gonna have to get through to get to their game that you're trying to get to. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and that seems to be everybody's kryptonite right now in the whole league, kind of like Brady was back when he was in New England. PJ, what do you think about this Baltimore squad, man? Do they have enough to finally get over that hump? Lamar, like I said, 2-time MVP. He's got all those awards. He's trying to get a ring. What do you think? Do they have enough to get over this hump?
I feel like, quite honestly, I mean, these last 2 seasons, they've already had the talent and been good enough to, almost get there. I don't see why they couldn't this year. I feel like this probably, I mean, not even probably, just the best team that they've had so far. The sky's the limit for them, man. They just got to beat the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, he in front of everybody right now. So everybody know that if you're trying to get to the championship, definitely coming out the AFC, you're going to have to go through Patrick Mahomes. So that's going to be the biggest thing for him. At this point, I don't even know what you can do. I don't know if you can try to win as many games and try to get, home field advantage throughout the playoffs and have them, play at your crib, or, I don't know. Because, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he Mahomes. Like, what he's going to do pretty much. It's almost kind of like Tom Brady a little bit at this point. So that's really the biggest thing for them, is getting through the Chiefs, because everything else I feel like they got already. I feel like they got, they got enough talent. They probably got more talent than anybody in the league at this point, as far as a team. So the biggest thing is just trying to get through the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with both you guys. They've really had enough. They've been right there. And to your point, PJ, they had home field advantage last year. They brought them into Baltimore to play the AFC Championship game, but 15 said he can bring the smoke wherever, pretty much. He came into Baltimore and won. He's played on the road multiple times throughout his run so far in the AFC, and has come out successful more times than not. So we know that he can get wins everywhere. But if you're Baltimore, you got to try to shoot for that home field advantage again, because that's one of the only edges that you can get over a guy like Patrick Mahomes. Kyra, before we stop talking about this one, what do you think about Baltimore? Do they have enough to get over that hump? And do they have enough to get to the final game in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm taking them, man. I think this is the year they get over the hump. But thing is, they're not going to play Kansas City. So that's the only way they're going to get around it. Like, if they have to see Patrick, it's not happening. I think I said on another show, man, this is a three-peat out there. about to witness. The year was last year.
Yeah.
Now they got Worthy. Now they got Hollywood Brown. They figured out that they could win running the ball, and with the defense, it's over. Like, the best thing we can see is you come out there and you do what San Francisco been doing to Dallas these last couple of years. You demoralize them. You right? Baltimore has to beat them by 50 tonight. They want to beat them in the playoffs. Because if it's a close game, or they see them, or they lose, it's going to be one of those situations where it's just Patrick, man. It's Mahomes, and now he has weapons again. They have to demoralize them tonight. In 2 hours, they have to make them not want to play football. They have to make them not want to see them again. And that's the only way. The only way.
So you said they're not going to play Mahomes if they go. Who they going to play then? So you saying you don't think Mahomes going to be in the AFC Championship?
No, I'm saying that's the only way they're going to get through. They have enough to make it. You know, you got probably the best defense. You're stacked at every level of the field. The only weak point we have left is maybe their receiving core. Can Zay Flowers step up?
Yeah.
You know, I'm expecting that we see, hey, let's get that passing game down. You know, let's make it lethal. Right now, you know, Lamar, I know he was MVP, but we're not going to talk about that. Who the real MVP was.
I don't know who the real MVP was. I think it was Lamar Jackson.
That's all I want to admit. Real MVP was Roquan Smith.
Oh, man, come on.
But, yeah, man, I think they have enough. This is it. It was it last year, too. But you got stronger. You added Derrick Henry. In my opinion, they need to come out there in a wing team. Georgia Tech, triple option. We running the ball every play. And I'm not saying Lamar can't throw the ball, but he ain't been able to do it. It's just like, I don't know. They got to try something else. So it's either try something else or avoid them completely. I would, my personal opinion, they have to beat the Kansas City Chiefs tonight by 50. Slap Andy Reid when you running by him. I don't know. But you got to do something to get this team demoralized and not wanting to play you no more. Because right now, man, Patrick not worried about nobody. And they got a 4-2-1 on the X and a 4-2-5 at the Y. It's over with.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough trying to beat this team. First of all, Patrick Mahomes ain't never losing by no 50. I don't know if he'll ever lose by 30. But we have seen him get blown out before in the past, and they'll need it. I kind of agree with you. They'll need a game like that in order to instill the type of confidence that they want. But I'm like what Quay was saying earlier. I mean, the Ravens can win tonight, and it'll mean a lot to the Ravens. It's not going to mean anything to these dudes. Might not be sober coming into the game, man. We know how Mahomes and Kelsey get down. These dudes be off a couple beers. They might get them a couple brews in this whole week leading up to start the season off, because they know when the real season matters, it's gonna when the real season starts, which is in December and January. I mean, that's when it's really going to start counting for real. So excited to see them play here tonight. Folks, want to thank everybody who's been watching with us so far, whether you're watching on Centex Sports TV on YouTube or if you're listening to this content on the Centex Sports One app or Infinity Sports Radio Central Texas. I want to thank you guys for tuning in with us. Before we go into our break to get ready for the 6 o'clock hour, I want to get a little quick take that you guys brought up in the group chat earlier about Mahomes, man. Mahomes now 3 rings, looking to get his 4th and potentially three-peat. He has a chance to three-peat, which is something that the GOAT and Tom Brady never got to do. He's got a chance to do that, and he's got a chance to add that to his list of accomplishments already. I don't even think the dude is 30 yet. How close are we to calling this dude the GOAT, man? You know, me personally, he's behind. He's still behind Joe Montana in my eyes. I think he's a better talent than Montana, but the run that Montana and the Niners had in the late 80s and into the 90s was a great run. Montana got 4 Super Bowl rings. He's 4 for 4 in the Super Bowl. So I haven't put him past him just yet. He's right there, though. he's right there. In my eyes, he's already passed Peyton. He's already passed Elway. He's already passed Rodgers. He's really already in that top 3 to me. But we know number 1, that's a big gap between 1, 2, and 3 right now, with Brady having 7 rings, and which is pretty much just ridiculous to say for football, especially being a quarterback, and you were a mainstay on all 7 of those Super Bowl teams. So what do we have to see from Mahomes in order for him to be considered the GOAT? Is there a chance that he could be the GOAT? And what will we have to see in order for that to happen? Quay, you brought this topic up, so I'm gonna start with you. What will we have to see from Mahomes for this to even be considered possible for him to pass Tom Brady?
Numbers is gonna take a lot, but the Super Bowls, I don't know if he'll get to 7, but I think he'll fill his hand up. And after that, I think it'll just be personal preference on play style, but it's going to be so much to catch the numbers. But if Brady could play to his 40, how come Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, so I don't – it's going to take a lot, and I think he can get it done, numbers, but I don't know if he'll catch that 7 rings. But better football player, to me, I would take Patrick Mahomes, but just like I seen Michael Vick take Tom Brady earlier in a segment where he's picking quarterbacks. So I understand why you have to take Brady. But Patrick Mahomes is something special. I don't think we could see that again. I think we could see something play style wise, something like Brady. I don't think we'll never see another Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be tough to even replicate that. I thought we would never see, or at least not see for a while, somebody as talented throwing the football as Aaron Rodgers. Here comes Mahomes right in and instantly throws 50 touchdowns and an MVP in his first year starting. So, like you said, I don't know if he'll catch him in 7 rings. That's pretty ridiculous to even get to 7 rings. But like you said, if Brady can play till he's 40-something, why not Mahomes? He might have to start eating some grass sandwiches and stuff like Tom Brady be doing. He got on them weird diets and got to get a massage and stuff all the time. But he might have to do some of that to be able to play that long. But if he can even get close to playing till 40, man, it's tough. He might catch him on the rings too. PJ, what do you think about this, man? Can Mahomes eventually become the GOAT, or is the gap just too far for him to be able to catch Brady?
I mean, as young as he is, he still got a lot of time to become the GOAT. Definitely, it's definitely going to be a conversation that we really going to need to have if he goes, if he three-peat. Nobody's ever done that. Nobody never in the league. So if he do that, then, I mean, it's going to really be a conversation to have. He could possibly catch up to that 7, but it's going to be hard, bro. I think the numbers-wise, like y'all were saying, I think he got a better chance of doing that than the Super Bowls. Well, we kind of got to realize, too, this is not taking anything from Tom Brady because I still think he's one of the GOATs for sure. Mm-hmm. But he came into a really good situation with the Patriots. Yeah. Those defenses and those first few championships that he won, them defenses really were one of the reasons why that he was able to get some of those rings, plus having a kicker like Adam Vinatieri, who was a clutch kicker. It was a lot of things that went into – it's a lot of things that went into the Patriots winning than just him. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes we kind of tend to forget that and try to just give him all the credit. And like I said, I'm not taking anything away from him. Yeah. But we do got to take into account that, I mean, it is football. So it's, 11 guys on the field on both sides. And that one side of the ball on the Patriots around that time in the early 2000s played a real key role in him winning championships. Not saying, like I said, I ain't taking anything away from him. He's still the GOAT. Yeah. I think he really started showing who he really was around like 2000, 2007.
Yeah, when he got Moss.
2007, it was okay. He done shown up for real now, But like I say, Mahomes, he do got a chance. I got him right now as far as, because I be breaking mine down sometimes. Like I always say, I've never seen guys who can throw the ball like Dan Marino, Drew Brees, and now I got Patrick Mahomes in that though. Like them 3 guys to me all have some of the best arms that you probably will ever see in the league. With Drew Brees, his arm wasn't as strong as
not at all
Dan Marino or Patrick Mahomes, but he was extremely accurate
Yeah.
But what you see with Dan Marino was the first, him and Warren Moon were the first two guys where it's like, man, they got arms. And not saying they weren't accurate, they were really accurate. But when you just look at Patrick Mahomes, bro, he throwing the ball different.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like he's falling to the ground and throwing it like while he on his side and stuff. You know what I mean? Like we seeing certain things that we've never seen. We've seen no look passes, but he just make it look really, really different. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Now when it comes to smarts, I feel like guys like a Joe Montana, Tom Brady, even a Peyton, you know, you got to still put, like, when it comes to just brains. Not saying he don't have it. I feel like Patrick Mahomes do, but I feel like it's only going to get better as he get older. And you're starting to kind of see him go into a different, you know, spectrum now, where it's like, not saying he didn't have the smarts before, but he's starting to become dangerous as far as, like, when it comes to just knowing when to, you know what I mean, audible out of a play.
Yeah.
And, you know, run this play. You know, you're starting to kind of see that because he's starting to get older and he's won so much now that he's able to really see what the defense is going to do way before they even do it. And that's what those guys were doing, and that's what made them great.
Yeah. Yeah, Mahomes, like you said, he's got a chance to do it. Probably one of the best throwers of the football. Quay, I'll let you go ahead and say what you were trying to rebuttal to what PJ's had to say real quick before we go to break.
Hold on, P. You can't say that, like, Patrick Mahomes did come into a good situation too.
Yeah, he came into a great situation.
He won the greatest coaches.
But his defense. His defense.
But it don't matter when it's predicated for you. Their defense is set up exactly how it's set up now. It was kind of set up then. Their defense is to get their offense back on the field. They don't go get a lot of big names. They kind of build within, but they get good, solid, coachable, fundamental football players, and that's what they stick and pride on. They're not really worried about you being the big name star, because if you do what you're supposed to, you're gonna become that. And Andy Reid knows his personnel. They know exactly what they're looking for. They draft well. He came into a great situation. Imagine us watching Patrick Mahomes, which he wasn't the first pick in the draft. He could have easily went to any team in the NFL. Imagine us watching him go be with the Panthers.
Yeah. No, I get what I'm saying? Yeah. I get what both of y'all are saying. Mahomes came into a great situation too, just two different situations. Mahomes came into a great situation as far as the offensive side. I mean, Alex Smith was getting 30 points a game. Like, come on. So he came into a great offense already. Andy Reid, one of the best offensive coaches ever. And I get what PJ's saying too. Tom came in and, I mean, they was winning Super Bowls scoring 14 to 20 points. And he brought up Adam Vinatieri. Adam Vinatieri won about 2 of them Super Bowls. So I agree. I get what both of y'all are saying on there.
Yeah. They had guys like Ty Law, though.
Yeah.
That was a top.
I mean, they had a lot of dudes. They had Ty Law, or like you said, a top corner. They had Willie McGinnis. At one point had Junior Seau in there with Teddy Bruschi. So a stacked defense. I'm going to let Kyrell get a quick point on this, though, about the Mahomes GOAT situation before we go to break. Kyrell, what you think about this Mahomes being chance to be a GOAT?
Yeah, see, the GOAT and the best, most talented is two totally different things for me.
Yeah.
Like, we all agree that Patrick Mahomes is more talented than any quarterback that played in the league probably so far. So, like, we ain't never seen nobody with this type of arm and accuracy. But that GOAT conversation is just a lot different for me, man. Like, yeah, the defense did what the defense did, but we talking about Troy Brown, bro.
Yeah.
And Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to lie. Tom did have Gronk, but that was later. He already had 3 by then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and in the league, having Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, you know, and just a great offensive-minded coach, Andy Reid, he made the most of it. And, you know, Patrick threw 50 touchdowns too.
Yeah.
But it's also a different league now. Like these coordinators are coming in and setting the league on fire, and like nobody's knowing what to do. Like I know you remember the Chiefs and the Rams scoring 100 points in the game. Like these schemes are crazy now. The rules are different. So I can't really look back and say, hey, Tom had to lean on his defense. No, it's just a talent thing, man. Like Tom had to grow into that quarterback. PJ is absolutely right. You know, we really saw who Tom was when we was like 06, 07. Really, once Peyton started clicking, Tom wasn't getting enough time.
Yeah.
I think Peyton threw for 48.
200-6895.
We talk about Tom Brady beat him in the GOAT. This ultimate competitor, you know what I'm saying? Despite having, hair down to his shoulders and Randy called him a pretty boy, like that dude was a competitor. That dude was a quarterback. I'm really excited to hear him commentate on these games because he's already like highlighting things that aren't even talked about, by regular announcers, like even ex-announcers, even Tony Romo, even though I like the way he announces, but Tom's already highlighting things that you just don't see just watching the game as a fan, But we're talking about Troy Brown and a whole bunch of other no names, and I can't really, don't nobody really know who they are. These are dealership owners probably right now, man. But Tom is definitely the GOAT. Pat, he's ahead of Peyton to me, just because talent and massive Super Bowl. And then Dan Marino is just, they just got to get their flowers. But yeah, man, this dude threw a ball horizontal in the air. What that TikTok said, man? He swung his body this way. Bro. Like, it's crazy. Like, you got to respect that, man. But 7's a lot.
Yeah.
And then when we talk about this GOAT, man, them intangibles, that's what make Tom great. That's a 6th round draft pick. That's not no top talent. All right, we got to tell the whole story when we talk about Tom Brady. So it's a lot of things that go into that man GOAT conversation. And Patrick, he's always been a great talent. Yeah, he was an automatic starter. That's still a 1st round pick we're talking about. He was supposed to. Yeah. He's supposed to not supposed to do everything he did, but he wasn't supposed to be bad. Tom Brady's supposed to be, franchising the Subway. And we looking at the GOAT. So that's got to be talked about when we had this conversation too, man. Patrick is definitely up there. He's definitely like a trendsetter. I see him a lot like Steph Curry, man. Like, we're going to see a lot of Patrick comps, just like we seeing a lot of Steph comps. But it ain't going to never be the same. But we seeing dudes changing their whole mechanics to match this dude. So he's a GOAT in his own right, but he's not the GOAT. And I don't think he'll ever reach there, bro. Like, 7's a lot.
7 is crazy. 7 is crazy to even get to that point.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You can have it back, man.
That's tough. That's tough to get to 7. I mean, a lot has to go your way to even be able to play in 7 Super Bowls, but much less win 7. And I think he played in 10. So I mean, that is really remarkable to even think about saying that for a football player. Folks, we're here.
Jalen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, my bad, man.
No, you good.
But let's not forget, Tom beat him. So it was like head to head.
Yeah, he did.
Gotta remember that.
That was his first one. He got to run up against old Brady, and I think that was 2019 after he just threw for 50 touchdowns. He got to run up against the old Brady, and Brady outclassed him in that game. But 7's a long way to go. But Mahomes is already halfway there, which is crazy to say, man. This dude only been starting like 6 years, and he's already halfway there. So Mahomes, he's got a way to go. I'm agreeing with you. He's got a way to go to be the GOAT. There is a chance for him to be able to do it. I think as we get older, this might be like the Mike and LeBron debate. Like, some people might not want to let go of Tom Brady being the GOAT. Some people still might think Tom Brady not the GOAT. So, that it's not as strong as it is in basketball, but Mahomes has got a case to be able to do that. Folks, we're here in hour number 2. We got way more NFL football to talk about. We're going to take a very short break and come right back to you guys here on Centex Primetime. Still got a lot of games to break down for this weekend as NFL weekend is kicking off tonight. Kansas City taking on the Baltimore Ravens. We'll be right back after a very short break here on Centex Primetime.
When you you suffer an injury at home, work, or on the road involving a car, 18-wheeler, or motorcycle, the first thing you need to do before calling anyone is dial 1-800-INJURIES for locally owned and operated the Zimmerman Law Firm. Hey, this is Big Rich, and the Zimmerman Law Firm has represented thousands of Central Texans in the last 50-plus years and handled more personal injury cases than any other local firm. When you call the Zimmerman Law Firm, you talk to a lawyer, no matter how big or small your case, and they guarantee you're financially taken care of because they only get paid when you win. Hey, don't just take my word for it. Heart of Texas Readers' Choice has named Zimmerman Law Firm the best in Waco. So remember, if you get injured at home, work, or on the road, it just takes one call, y'all, to 1-800-INJURIES or zlawhelp.com for the Zimmerman Law Firm and tell them I told you to call. Principal Office, Waco, Texas. No fee unless you recover.
Are you looking for something new and unforgettable in Waco? Come to the Blazing Asian, where authentic Cambodian flavors meet creative culinary flair. Voted People's Choice as Waco's #1 Asian restaurant since 2019 by both the Wacoan Magazine and the Waco Tribune Herald. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin, we're serving up family recipes with a twist. Blazing Asian egg rolls are rolled fresh daily, and their sauces or marinades are made in-house with love. Stop by today. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. And for Baylor students, enjoy 10% off with your student ID.
Central Texas, learn how to be a part of 254 Media Group, home of Magic 94.5, 94.5 The Beat, and CBS Sports Radio 94.5 HD2. Inquiring businesses, please call 254-252-4206. That's 254-252-4206. Or email Roy at 254mediagroup.com.
CBS Sports Central Texas, KWBT HD2 Waco, Temple, Killeen, Fort Hood is CBS Sports Central Texas, changing sports radio.
Welcome back into Centex Primetime, everybody, as we are here in hour number 2, getting ready for some more NFL football here on Centex Primetime. Folks, definitely want to shout out Rich Homie Quan, man, and say rest in peace to him, somebody that, if you were born in the 90s, if you're a 90s baby, Rich Homie Quan definitely played part of your music catalog, and definitely want to say rest in peace to him. Had a lot of hits in that 2010s, 2000 era. I know everybody on here with me right now. I got Kyrell, Quay, and PJ here joining me today. We definitely all jammed some Rich Homie, especially if you were getting ready for a game or anything like that. Rich Homie was going to be somewhere in the playlist, so definitely rest in peace to him. Folks, NFL season is starting tonight, and we are here talking football. We just talked about the Chiefs and the Ravens game getting ready to kick off in about an hour now. And we all took Baltimore, unfortunately. We know what that means. If everybody on the panel picks one person or picks the one team to win, they're definitely going to lose. So hopefully that doesn't affect the Ravens and none of them listen to this. But we got more games coming up this weekend, and we've got some new games or a new style of game being played, I guess, on Friday. They're trying some new things out in the NFL. They're under some new TV deals, so they're trying to find some more ways to get some more money out of people watching these games. So they got a game on a Friday night. Green Bay and the Eagles are going to be playing in Brazil. That game will be at 7 o'clock, so both of these teams will be on the road to start out the season as they'll play in Brazil. I'm not sure if this is the first game. I'm pretty sure it is the first game in Brazil that the NFL has played. We know they've done some games in Mexico, and they're saying that they want to get out and be able to do some games in Africa as well. So a lot of big things looking forward for the NFL, but they got a game coming up on Friday, so we'll see that. And then we've got the full slate of games starting on Sunday. But before we get into breaking down each one of these games, I want to talk about some predictions, man. Everybody, we all have predictions on what we think are going to happen before the season starts that we know half of them probably aren't going to be true before by the time we get to the end of the season. But we're going to act like they are going to be true here today, and we're going to try to pick some of these. We're going to go with some division winners, who we think are going to win the division. We're going to try to do the MVP, who we think is going to win MVP. And we're going to try to do Rookie of the Year as well as we predict some of these teams going forward into the NFL season. So we'll start with the division winners. So, fellas, as we look through all of these different divisions and try to pick what teams do we think are going to take over, maybe some teams new as far as winning their division maybe in the last couple of years. Some of these are going to be mainstays. I'm going to go with my list first. And a lot of these, honestly, aren't going to be shockers, but a couple of them might be different than you guys' list. So as we look at the AFC North, I'm going to go with this. First of all, I start with this division because this is the most competitive division in football, and it's been that way for years. This is most definitely the toughest team or the toughest division in football, the AFC North. All 4 teams have a chance to make the playoffs. All 4 teams this year are coming in expecting to win the division, and all 4 teams are trying to make a run at going to the AFC Championship game. AFC North, though, I'm going to stay with Lamar and the Ravens. I think right now they just look the best. They won last year. They got the MVP in Lamar, and they retooled and they added more pieces. Some of these other teams added more pieces as well, but I feel like the Ravens, they've got enough to be able to do it. And kind of like Kyrell said earlier, I think that outside of Mahomes, it's hard for anybody to really take this team out. AFC East, this is a division that was run by New England for 15 years maybe, and in the last 4 or 5 years since Tom has been out of New England, it's been all Buffalo. This division is another division that is going to be extremely competitive. Not as competitive as the AFC North because the Patriots are in this division, and they're probably the worst team in the league. It's between them and the Cardinals, but at least the Cardinals got Kyler Murray. So the Patriots are going to be the worst team in the league this year. But the Jets are in here, the Dolphins in here, and the Bills still in here. I'm going to take the Dolphins this year. The Bills have been the mainstay as far as winning the division, but I'm going to take the Dolphins. This offense is going to be extremely explosive, just like it was last year under Mike McDaniel, and they got a chance to be even better. They added Odell Beckham. Devin A-Chain is going to be coming back. Raheem Mostert is going to be coming back. Added a few pieces on the defensive side of the ball. They added Jalen Ramsey. He'll have a full offseason in this system this year. They added Kyle Fuller in the secondary to go along with him. And they went and got one of the Buffalo Bills, one of the best safeties in the league with Jordan Poyer playing for the Dolphins as well. So, honestly, this team is loaded. And Miami, I got them winning the AFC East. AFC South, no surprises here in the AFC South. I got the Texans. That's my team, obviously. C.J. Stroud and the boys looking to make a real run this year. We're loaded on both sides of the ball. You know, I don't like big up in my team too much before the season starts. But as soon as the season starts, y'all gonna be sick of me hearing about these Texans, man. And we got a squad this year. AFC West, it's gonna be the Chiefs. Like, no need to play there. The AFC West is on a downturn anyway. They got Bo Nix on the Broncos. The Chargers lost a lot of talent. They got a new coach as well. So AFC West is not going to be too much of a problem. Vegas is going to be horrible this year. Sorry to any Raiders fans that are listening to this, but Vegas is going to be terrible this year. They have no quarterback. So I'm picking the Chiefs in that division. That wraps up the AFC. In the NFC, I'll try to go quick so we can get you other guys' opinions on here. NFC North, I got Detroit winning this one again. Only team that really can give them a fight in this is Green Bay. I think it's too early for Chicago. They still got a lot of things to try to work out on the defensive side of the ball and on their offensive line, even though Caleb Williams and that receiving core could be special. I got Detroit. NFC East, no surprise to you, Kyrell. I got Philly coming out of the NFC East. I think this team is loaded. I think that they retooled. Don't know how Howie Roseman does it every single year, but somehow they fooled around and got Saquon by accident, like Quay said a couple days ago, for some crackers and beans. So they got Saquon coming in there. Philly's looking loaded. The secondary very questionable. So we'll see how that goes throughout the year. In the NFC South, this one is really the toughest one to pick just because a lot of these teams are on the same playing level. And honestly, the NFC South is the worst division in football. There's nobody that just stands out in a major way when you think about New Orleans and their quarterback woes that they've been having since Drew Brees has left. Tampa Bay won it last year at 9-8, and they'll be decent again this year, but not looking for anything crazy out of Tampa Bay. I got Atlanta winning though. I got Kirk Cousins gonna come put one of them chains on down there in Atlanta. I'm sure he'll have a grill by November, being out there in Atlanta, and they got a chance. They got a lot of talent on this Falcons team, man. They got a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. Their secondary is loaded now since they've added Jonathan Simmons in there as well. They already got A.J. Terrell in there as well. The D-line is bolstered up. They've already had Grady Jarrett, but they added Matthew Judon in there. They got Lorenzo Carter last year from the Giants. So this team can make some noise. They got a pretty good offensive line. Jake Matthews and Chris Lindstrom in there on the O-line. Drake London and Kyle Pitts out there to go along with Bijan Robinson. I think Kirk Cousins got a chance to spend some of that money in Magic City this year, man, and pick up a couple wins. He'll be out there getting the lemon pepper Lou wings after a few weeks of winning down there in Atlanta. NFC West, this is a tough division to pick as well because Seattle, I think, is going to have a pretty decent year this year if Geno Smith can stay healthy. But I'm going to go with the mainstay, man. I'm going to go with San Fran in that one. I think they just have the most consistent. They showed that they're ready to try to win a Super Bowl this year because they brought everybody back. They brought all the dudes back. Defense is going to be loaded. They got Trent Williams contract worked out. They paid Brandon Ayuk. So San Fran's got a chance to make another run at the Super Bowl again and maybe eventually get over the hump this year, but we'll see. So those are my picks, fellas. I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts, and who do y'all think are going to be the teams to win it? I'll start with PJ. Who do you got, man, as your division winners coming into this season?
Well, I'm gonna start with the NFC. That one's a little more simple for me, but as you know, the Saints. That's my secondary team right there behind the Cowboys. As bad as I really don't want to pick the Falcons to win, but I just feel like they got the best team in the NFC South outside of really, everybody, honestly. So I think I got the Falcons coming out the South. With the NFC East, I got the Eagles. I just don't think anybody else in the division has as deep of a team as they do. So I got them winning the East. With the NFC West, man, that one kind of a toss-up for me. I think I'm gonna go with probably I don't know really who's coming out the West, honestly. I guess the easiest I'd say is the 49ers.
Yeah.
You know, 49ers for sure. NFC North, I got Detroit. And then let's see, AFC East, I got the Jets. I'm gonna stick with the Jets, bro. I really think they're gonna be really good this year.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna make up for Aaron Rodgers getting hurt last year. So I got the Jets coming out the AFC East. AFC North, I got the Ravens. I just love everything about the Ravens, honestly. And then let's see, AFC West, the Chiefs. Got the Chiefs coming out of that again. And then the AFC South, I got the Texans.
Yeah. So the list kind of looks similar to mine. Not much different up there, but I do like that Jets pick, though. I think the Jets are going to have a good year this year as well. Aaron Rodgers definitely going to try to make a statement if he can stay healthy this year. Quake, we'll go to you, man. Who are your division winners, and who do you think is going to make some noise coming out of these divisions?
I'm going to go AFC North first. I'm going to go Baltimore, just out the bottom. AFC East is really tough. Like you said, the Jets too. But I'm gonna take Miami. AFC South, I'm gonna take the Texans, of course. AFC West, Chiefs.
Yeah.
Now NFC North. I'm gonna take Green Bay. I think they come in. They got the swagger to win. They think they can beat anybody. I do like the Lions, but I don't think anybody else I don't think they can replicate what they did last year. I do think they're very talented. I do think they got a top 10 receiver in St. Brown, but I don't believe that they can do that again. NFC East, I'm taking the Eagles, of course. NFC South. Yeah, I'm going to go with Atlanta. I think Kirk Cousins make them at least have a quarterback that puts them over not being terrible hump.
Yeah.
We're not terrible. We're a competitive team, and I think everybody else in that division is on the borderline of being terrible. I don't think Tampa Bay – they brought back Baker Mayfield. I don't think they'll be anything. Then, I'm going to 49ers in the West, NFC West.
No, for sure. And I'm agreeing with you with Atlanta. I think Kirk Cousins just gives him that little bit of edge to be decent I don't think they're going to be world beaters or anything like that or really making some noise. We'll see, though, because they do got some players out there, especially on the defensive side of the ball, but it's still Atlanta, man. Especially you got some young dudes out there. Atlanta got a lot of distractions for some young guys out there with some money. So it's hard. I think Atlanta got a lot to battle every year, just having a bunch of young dudes out there in the city, just like Vegas does. Kyrell, we'll end it off with you, man. Who are your NFC winners? We know you got the Cowboys, but tell us about everybody else.
Yeah, you're right. Boy, y'all making me throw up at picking the Eagles, man.
Everybody took Philly.
Yeah, y'all crazy. By upgrades. The Saquon? Okay. Let's see if he finished the season.
Oh, man, you want somebody to get
AFC, man. AFC. I'm going with the Jets in the AFC East. Aaron Rodgers has been left out of the quarterback conversation for the last 2 years. And I think he's going to be, not set the world on fire, but he's going to be the number one game manager this year. You know, just use his experience, and they're going to be killing the red zone. He's probably going to have the top 5 receiver here with next year. Probably top 3, honestly. Like, seeing his body cancel and change. Like, who even thinks of something like that? But yeah, he's going to go crazy. Obviously, the Ravens and the AFC North, the Bengals just don't. I don't see them having a run game at all this year. And despite how great Chase and Higgins are, not going to win no games with 0 run. And I mean, they'll win just because, but they're not going to win the division.
Yeah.
Take Texans in the AFC South. I do think that the rookie of the year is in Indianapolis, the number 2 receiver spot. So,
you talking about dude from Texas?
Adonai Mitchell. And Anthony Richardson looked good for a couple weeks before he got hurt, man. I think it's a step forward even further, and he's going to be the second quarterback in that division this year ahead of Trevor Lawrence. Just because Lawrence doesn't have talent around outside Evan Ingram. AFC West is a wrap. I don't even know why. I don't even know why they're playing football this year. Who's the starting Vegas quarterback?
I have no idea. I guess the dude from last year, McConnell or whatever.
Nope. Pistachio. Garner, what's his name?
Garner Minshew.
Yep. So they can't even quarterback. NFC North. Y'all not like me for this one, man. But I'm going with the Bears.
Come on, man.
I think rookie Caleb Williams with all that talent at receiver, man. They had a decent defense last year. I just think that I really just think Justin Fields can't play, man.
Can I ask you a question, though?
Caleb Williams can. Yeah.
Can I ask a question, Kurt? So, do you actually think the Bears addressed all of their needs, or do you think they just actually started towards their needs with getting a quarterback?
No, I think they addressed all their needs. Like, they got a decent quarterback. They were never bad on defense. So, and they got 2 receivers brought in that you got probably a French Hall of Famer just off numbers and Keenan Allen. And then you got probably a top 3 receiver in this class and Roma Dunzer.
What about the trenches?
Moore, maybe.
The D-line ain't good and the O-line ain't good.
I'm going to say, so being middle of the pack on defense and like middle of the pack towards the back end of the pack on defense and being terrible on offense is a recipe
the way I see it,
to come in and be successful.
You got to remember, though, this was a terrible offense led by a quarterback, unfortunately, that was terrible. I believe in Justin Fields. He just don't got it. So when you got a bad offense, your defense 9 times out of 10 is going to be bad as well, because you constantly put bad positions, constantly don't have an advantage on field position. So if they're middle of the pack with a bad quarterback, I expect them to be better with a better quarterback. So I'll get y'all, man. I'm out on a limb.
Yeah, you out on a limb.
You all the way up there by yourself.
Okay, that's cool. I'm out there with these boys, too, because all y'all picked Philly. So if I go to the South, I'm taking the Bears in the North. On the South, I'm taking the Falcons. They got loaded with talent. They've been talented. They've had talent the last couple of years. Just no quarterback. Had Desmond, whatever, boy, the Riddler out there playing quarterback. That man doing DoorDash commercials, and now might be actually employed by them. So I don't know.
He did just get cut by Arizona.
And then you got.
It's crazy. How you get cut by the Cardinals?
And then I'm taking. And then just because Clay has something to say about my pick about the North, I'm taking the Cardinals in the West, man.
Come on, man. Stop it, bro. Stop it.
But that lets you know that you don't think anything logical about the sports that we're talking about. I only talk about.
Okay. You want to hear some reason?
Please,
because some reason.
They're gonna be one of the worst teams in the league.
Okay, for me, honestly, Christian McCaffrey has played 2 years, right? Being healthy. Correct?
Yeah.
No way you can hit us with the ugly bug.
No. I honestly believe that Christian McCaffrey will not make it through the year. As far as missing games, I'm not saying he's gonna miss the year, but I just think he's gonna miss a couple games. And then my number one reason is the league has a year of Purdy. Like there's going to be things put in place to where he's not going to have the same year as he did last year.
Okay,
I just don't expect to be a top 3 quarterback.
I can see your point slightly on that, but my thing is the league can look at Purdy for 10 years. It's got nothing to do with Purdy. It's Kyle Shanahan that they haven't been able to figure out for 10 years. They had Jimmy G there, who's worse than anybody we talked about, and he looked decent. Second, just because you think the 49ers not going to win, why did you pick the Cardinals? They're one of the worst teams. LA is going to be good and Seattle going to be good. Why did you pick Arizona?
James Conner was a top rusher last year. Despite how bad they were. So I think they have a decent rush. They have a decent rushing game. Trey McBride is my sleeper tight end for the year. Then I think Marvin Harrison is going to be a top receiver in the league.
That's enough to win a division. Can you name 2 players on the defense?
No, it don't matter. They get Kyler Murray back.
Hey man, go to your last division, bro.
Last division is NFC East, man. I hear y'all everybody's hyped about the big mistake on Saquon, but where have they improved at? They got a running back. They had a running back last year. No, they haven't played. They drafted 1 corner. They're strong at their nose tackle and Darius Slay. Every other spot on that defense is weak. All those Georgia boys they drafted, they're not panning out. They're starters in the league, but they're not better than anybody they had in the past. I just don't see how the Eagles are better.
Can I ask another question?
Go ahead.
Just quick, slight. What makes y'all any better than them at corner?
We have an all-pro at corner. We have 2 all-pros on our D-line. And then we actually made – I think Trayvon Diggs is going to be all-pro, yeah.
Nah, I'm not talking about Trayvon. I don't know what Trayvon Diggs is going to come back after this injury. I'm saying I don't think neither one of y'all D-line are going to make all-pro again.
Michael make it for sure.
Not Micah, but I'm saying I don't think nobody else outside of Micah on your D-line can make all-pro next year.
No.
They might not make all-pro, but DeMarcus Lawrence will be probably the best rush defensive end again. And then at linebacker, we actually made upgrades. We actually made moves.
Who?
And
he'll be the best. Wait, DeMarcus Lawrence will be the best what?
DeMarcus Lawrence is the best run defensive end in the league.
Okay, just keep going.
Yeah. And I don't want to. Y'all debating that? Y'all don't agree?
No, I don't agree with that.
No.
Who's better at rush defense?
He's not better than Myles Garrett at anything. What are you talking about?
He's the best rush defensive end in the league.
He's not better than anything.
The problem is he gets 0 sacks.
Okay. But and then to your other point, saying the Georgia boy is not going to pan out. Jalen Carter not panning out. He didn't go to Georgia.
No. I'm not talking about Jalen Carter. I'm talking about Nakobe Dean and
Nolan Smith.
What's the other one?
Nolan Smith.
The corner.
Yeah, second.
No.
Who?
Not the corner. I mean the corner, but not Nolan Smith. Ringo.
Oh, okay, but they just drafted. Yeah. How you say he didn't pan out? Didn't he just get drafted?
I'm saying this is their second year. Their only rookie is Quinyon Mitchell. at the nickel.
And they got the white dude from Iowa. So my thing with Philly is to Quay's point. You said they didn't get better at any positions. The Cowboys didn't get better at anything. So there's one. Second, they got better at multiple positions. Saquon Barkley is not an upgrade. You told me last year that he was okay. Okay, so you'll give me that one. He got better. Their receiver room got better. They added more pieces. Jahan Dotson can play.
Bust.
Jahan Dotson can play. Not saying that's gonna make a huge difference.
Went to TCU.
That's Josh Dotson. Jahan Dotson went to Penn State. They got better at the. They got better at the.
Washington, right?
They got better at receiver.
It was in Washington, right?
Yeah, they got better
last year.
Yes, the receiving room got better. They added him in as a third option. He looked good last year. At a lot of times, having to be the number one option because Terry McLaurin would be hurt. He looked decent last year. Not saying he's a world beater, but adding him adds depth to your receiver room. The O-line,
definitely the best number 3 receiver in the league right now.
For sure. Well, I won't say that. I won't say that because not
the number 3.
But Houston got a lot of receivers. He not better than Tank Dell if Tank Dell number 3.
He could be starting somewhere.
He could. He definitely could be starting somewhere. And somehow the Eagles got him. So they got man, he could be. He was just starting in Washington last year. We can't say like he just can't be a starter.
Are you saying somebody's number 1?
We're saying he said start. He said start.
Right
over who?
I'm not.
Have a receiver.
He was
Brandon Cooks and CD Lamb.
Brandon Cooks is washed. Brandon Cooks is washed.
Stop it, bro. Y'all just said the same thing about Michael Gallup. Terrible last year. He's really been terrible. Y'all don't
We're always talking about Michael Gallup
there right now. I'm just
Michael
saying.
Gallup was our third receiver last year.
So what is so you're saying that Brandon Cooks is gonna be what this year?
I'm saying he's gonna have a better year than whatever.
Like he was last.
Okay, he can be our third receiver here, yeah.
No, he would literally be the number 2 receiver in Dallas right now.
I don't agree with that.
I can't say that.
I mean, it's a toss-up. I ain't saying it like that's just a crazy thing. It's a toss-up between him and Brandon. But to say that they didn't get better at any position, bro, I think they upgrade. Only thing that I'm questionable about is their secondary. That's the only thing that's just got me like,
And their second level?
They went and got Devin White. How is that not an upgrade?
Devin White?
The linebacker.
Every linebacker on your team.
Yes. What are you talking about? Yeah. What do you? I don't. He's a major upgrade.
Better than Eric Kendricks.
What? He's not better than Eric Kendricks.
No.
All right. No. But he's an upgrade. I'm not going to debate that with you. I think that's kind of obvious. But how long
is he out?
Who?
Devin White. It's just an ankle.
I think he's playing. Maybe he'll miss the game. Maybe he'll miss a game, but he's going to play. Yeah. He's going to play the season though, and he's a definite upgrade. From them last year.
No, that's great. That's great. With all the additions, bro, the fact of the matter is they got 2 running backs in their backfield, and we have a quarterback. So I don't. Y'all can make all the upgrades y'all want to, but Jalen Hurts is just not it, man. Now, I hate to down a Houston dude, man, but he's not running the division. Like, that one run.
He's done more than Dak.
Thank you.
Who's done more than Dak?
Jalen Hurts. He's been to the Super Bowl. Dak ain't been to a conference championship.
Went to the Super Bowl, Jalen.
Okay, he's better than Dak. I'm saying Jalen Hurts is better than Dak.
Wow.
He's done more than Dak. I won't say he's better than Dak. He's done more than Dak.
He can't throw the ball.
He's done more than Dak is all I'm saying. You saying that's going to be their downfall.
Dilfer went to the Super Bowl. And so if you're equating Super Bowls to doing more, show me 35 passing touchdowns.
Show me an NFC Championship appearance.
That's great. That's a team award.
Okay, then. He's playing a team sport. I didn't say he's better. I said he's done more. I'm saying you're saying that's going to be their weakness. They've already got to a Super Bowl with this weakness. Dak is supposed to be their strength, and he's the reason they can't get to a Super Bowl. Is my only point about the Jalen Hurts thing. So
is he the reason?
Yes, he is yes, he's the reason. He ain't been the reason every year, but he is the reason. But I'm just saying, I'm not going down Jalen Hurts for that. But we got to go to some of these other predictions that we got on the lineup. We're going to take a quick break, everybody, and when we come back, Got some more NFL topics to talk about. Sure, the Cowboys will end up in this some kind of way, I'm sure. But we got some more topics to talk about as we go through some more of these predictions. We're going to take a short break here on Centex Primetime. And when we come back, we got some more NFL predictions as we get ready for the NFL season here tonight. You're watching Centex Primetime here on Centex Sports TV. We'll be right back.
NSJ Event Co., one of the premier event designers in Central Texas and a Centex Sports Network supporter, voted Waco Awards Event Planner of the Year 2021. NSJ Event Co. is your go-to source for event planning. Whether it's your next baby shower, birthday bash, wedding, or retirement party, NSJ Event Co. will bring out the elegance, class, and style your event deserves. Call NSJ Event Co. at the number on the screen or scan the QR code to schedule a free consultation. NSJ Event Co., where the party lady takes care of all your event needs.
When you suffer an injury at home, work, or on the road involving a car, 18-wheeler, or motorcycle, the first thing you need to do before calling anyone is dial 1-800-INJURIES for locally owned and operated the Zimmerman Law Firm. Hey, this is Big Rich, and the Zimmerman Law Firm has represented thousands of Central Texans in the last 50-plus years and handled more personal injury cases than any other local firm. When you call the Zimmerman Law Firm, you talk to a lawyer, no matter how big or small your case, and they guarantee you're financially taken care of because they only get paid when you win. Hey, don't just take my word for it. Heart of Texas Readers' Choice has named Zimmerman Law Firm the best in Waco. So remember, if you get injured at home, work, or on the road, it just takes one call, y'all, to 1-800-INJURIES or zlawhelp.com for the Zimmerman Law Firm and tell them I told you to call. Principal Office, Waco, Texas. No fee unless you recover.
Are you looking for something new and unforgettable in Waco? Come to the Blazing Asian, where authentic Cambodian flavors meet creative culinary flair. Voted People's Choice as Waco's #1 Asian restaurant since 2019 by both the Wacoan Magazine and the Waco Tribune Herald. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin, we're serving up family recipes with a twist. Blazing Asian egg rolls are rolled fresh daily, and their sauces or marinades are made in-house with love. Stop by today. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. And for Baylor students, enjoy 10% off with your student ID.
Central Texas, learn how to be a part of 254 Media Group, home of Magic 94.5, 94.5 The Beat, and CBS Sports Radio 94.5 HD2. Inquiring businesses, please call 254-252-4206. That's 254-252-4206. Or email Roy at 254mediagroup.com.
CBS Sports Central Texas, KWBT HD2 Waco, Temple, Killeen, Fort Hood is CBS Sports Central Texas, changing sports radio.
Hello and welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, and we're here for the last few minutes of the show as we get ready for NFL weekend kicking off in just a few minutes now, and we're getting ready for a great weekend of football, college, NFL, and high school. Before we go back to the rest of the crew on here, we have one of the partners here at 94.5 Magic to talk about some things upcoming here on the station. Roy Gillis.
Well, Jalen, we're still talking about football. Yep. We are in football season, and I just wanted to make sure that our listeners know about some of the programming that we have coming up. We got some great programming happening here. Of course, Centex Primetime is I think one of the best sports talk shows in Central Texas. And in addition to that, beginning on Saturday, it's a late game. Saturday, we formed a partnership with Texas Tech, so we are the flagship station for Texas Tech athletics here in the Central Texas area. Texas Tech is going to be matching up with Washington State on Saturday. That pregame is going to be at 8 o'clock Central. So you'll be able to catch that on 94.5, the HD channel. You'll be able to catch it on Centex Sports 1 on the app and also on the website. So you'll be able to catch it there. And for one of the other organizations that has partnered with us for this particular season and just listening to your show, obviously there are some people that have an appreciation for this particular organization, but we are the flagship station for the Dallas Cowboys. And so the Dallas Cowboys will be on 94.5 Centex Magic, 94.5 on the dial, Now, the Cowboy game will only be on the dial, so you got to switch over. The pregame is going to start at 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, the pregame will start this Sunday on 94.5. That is very big for our organization, and we feel so privileged to have an opportunity just to partner with the Dallas Cowboys, and we'll be rolling out some of their they have opened us up to all types of inside information. Can't wait to get some can't wait to send you to the Cowboys game and get you some of those locker room interviews, and it's just an exciting time here at Centex Magic 94.5.
Yep, so a lot of good things coming up, folks, as we get ready for football season here on 94.5 Magic and Infinity Sports Radio, Central Texas. Like you said, the Texas Tech show will be this Saturday, a late game, like you said,
very
take
late
on Washington State. So the pregame show will be airing here on Infinity Sports Radio, Central Texas. You'll be able to catch that for all of our Tech fans out there. And like you said, the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, will be right here on 94.5 FM. So make sure you guys get ready for that. 3:30, they take on the Cleveland Browns.
And that pregame is at 3. So you can come on, you can lock in as soon as you get out of church.
Yeah.
And go to the Golden Corral and get that buffet dinner. Tune in to 94.5. Get yourself locked in, and you can catch it there. Also, you can catch me early on Sunday morning, as a matter of fact, at Sunday Morning Manna, 94.5 FM, where you can hear inspirational gospel music at 7 to 9. So you can catch me there also. But we're excited about the programming that's happening right here in Central Texas.
Yep. Excited about what we have coming. Roy, appreciate you coming on and jumping on and letting us know what's going on for the weekend, folks, as we get ready for football season here on Centex Primetime and here on 94.5 Magic FM and also on Infinity Sports Radio, Central Texas. Well, I'm going to bring the crew back in here as we get ready to close the show out. We had a couple more things we were going to try to get to, but I want to get to these game predictions as we get closer and closer to Sunday. I want to go to the NFL Pick'em as we go through some of these games, and we got about 15 minutes left to try to get these games off and everybody pick a winner here today. So I want to get you guys' opinions on this. We already talked about the Chiefs game, and I want to move to the game on Friday night. Instead of some Friday, if you're not watching some high school football, you get a chance to catch some NFL football as the Packers are taking on the Eagles in Brazil. Packers versus the Eagles in Brazil right now. Philly, a 2.5-point favorite. I'm going to lean towards Philly in this one. I know Green Bay has got a lot of things brewing over there, and they played great to end the season, but I got to see Jordan Love do it twice. I'm going to take Philly in this game. PJ, who do you got in this game, man? Philly versus the Packers on Friday.
The Eagles going to be really good this year, and they loaded. I think the Packers surprise everybody and possibly get the upset.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. Jordan Love, one of the better young QBs in the league, so definitely wouldn't be surprised by that. Quay, who do you got in this one on Friday? We got Philly and Green Bay in Brazil.
I'm taking Philly. I think that Jalen Hurts' disrespect gonna come to an end. I think he played within his bag, what his game is, and I don't think he tries to be the have the most yards in the league. I think he just tries to win. So I think Philly's coming out with a statement year this year, and I think that try to come out and dominate.
So we got Philly, one Green Bay. Kyrell, go ahead and round this one off. Who you got, Philly and Green Bay?
Yeah, Green Bay, man.
Shocker.
That same attitude that got, I'm just trying to win, got ambition in that typical game. So you need to go out there and throw the ball. Honestly, but like all Eagles hate aside, I think his number one weapon is going to get taken away. And it's going to be up to, if he can't get going with Devontae Smith, if they don't have a big game, or, a Saquon doesn't have a big game, I just think they're probably going to be outcoached in the game.
Yeah,
and then they're probably going to.
No, I can see that. I can see that. Jair Alexander, one of the best corners in the league, so He'll probably follow A.J. Brown. Only problem is with that, they got 2 number ones because Devontae Smith is still out there. So we'll see how they fare against them. Moving to Sunday slate, Pittsburgh at Atlanta. Right now, Atlanta a 3.5-point favorite over Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh, one of the better teams in the league. So that's saying a lot about what Vegas thinks about Atlanta and the new-look Falcons under the helm of Kirk Cousins. In this one, starting it and it being at Atlanta, I'm still gonna go Pittsburgh, man. I got to see it. I'm picked Atlanta to win the division, so I wouldn't be shocked if Atlanta got this one. But Pittsburgh, they'll be poised on the road. Russell Wilson, he's just But their defense is still gonna be good, so I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh in this one, even though Atlanta's a 3-point favorite. Cover, who you got? Pittsburgh and Atlanta.
Oh yeah, man. I'm big on Kirk Cousins this year. I'm going with Atlanta. Russell Simmons or Russell Wilson is rough. Najee Harris is. I just don't see them winning. Shout out George Pickens, but unless T.J. Watt is literally taking the ball out of Kirk Cousins' hands and going back to the end zone, I just don't see much promise out coming from the Pittsburgh Steelers this year.
Yeah, not shocked about that one at all. Atlanta, good team, and like you said, Russell Wilson is not that impressive. Quay, who you got? Atlanta and Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna take Pittsburgh from coaching. They win by 3 a field goal. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. I think their defense is gonna come out high. I think they got the better coach. I do think they have the better team for Atlanta, but we still don't know exactly if they're gonna mesh first game. I do think they're gonna have. Do think they win the division, but I think they might come out to lose to better coaching and a smarter quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. PJ, what you think, man? At Pittsburgh and Atlanta on Sunday.
I agree. I think the game gonna be a low scoring game. It's really gonna come down who got the best, who's gonna run the ball better. And I even though the Pittsburgh Steelers got Najee Harris and everything, I feel like the Atlanta Falcons are gonna be able to run the ball better. So I think Atlanta might get a close win, but I wouldn't be surprised though if that's not the case and the Pittsburgh Steelers end up winning the game.
Yeah, they definitely have the better coach and more experienced coach there with Mike Tomlin. But shout out to Raheem Morris, another black coach in the NFL. So I'll be rooting for Atlanta whenever I can this year. I won't go through the Cardinals and Bills because I'm pretty sure we're all going to pick the Bills. They're a heavy favorite. The Cardinals are terrible, except Cavarero, who thinks they can win the NFC West. I'm not going to pick the Patriots and Bengals game because the Bengals are going to blow out the Patriots. They are going to be the worst team in the league. But another game that could be a good one this weekend, Jacksonville at Miami. Now, this is a close one. Jacksonville is going to be better than a lot of people think. I picked the Texans. Obviously, that's my team to win the division. But Jacksonville is going to have a pretty decent squad this year. Right now, Jacksonville, Miami, a 3.5-point favorite in this game. I'm going to go with Miami. Just too much offensive firepower for them. PJ, who you got? Jacksonville or Miami?
I got Miami as well, but I think Jacksonville is going to make the game closer than what people think. I'm real confident in Trevor Lawrence and that offense this year. I think they're going to be really good this year. I think they're kind of slept on, and I feel like their defense is going to be pretty good this year as well. But I think Miami going to be a little too much. And you got, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, A-Chain. I feel like it's going to be a little too much for Jacksonville.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Quay, who you got in this one, Miami and Jacksonville?
I'm gonna go Miami, but I think it's either gonna be two different games. It's either gonna be last possession win for Miami, or it's gonna be a blowout.
Yeah, either one, and they blow a lot of teams out in the regular season, so wouldn't be shocked by that at all. And it's gonna be hot in Miami to start the season off. Kyra, who you got, Miami and Jacksonville?
I'm taking Jacksonville in the shootout. Travis Etienne, 150-plus yards. Yeah, I'm down on Tua this year.
Yeah, okay. I ain't disagreeing with that one at all, being down on Tua, even though I think his stats are going to look good. But as soon as it gets below, I was going to say below 50, but if it gets below 70 for Tua, he just turns into I don't even know what. I don't know what happens when it gets even a slight breeze in the air. Somehow he gets worse at football. But Miami could have a big year this year, so they got a lot of dudes coming back on the defensive side of the ball too. I'll skip around some of these games to the ones that I think are going to be good games. Texans at Indianapolis. Houston, a 3-point favorite. Obviously, I got Houston in this one, but going to be a good game. Indy always a tough beat. And if Anthony Richardson plays well, they're going to be a tough team to get out of there. Kyra, who you got? Indy and Houston.
Yep, Houston's going to take that one. I'm expecting Richardson to have a tough game out the gate, but bounce back later in the season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going Houston.
I can see that. Coy, who you think in this one? Texans playing at Indianapolis on Sunday.
Texans for sure.
Yeah.
I just think they got their roster where they wanted. They addressed the needs that they needed. They went and got them some the running back. They got the receiver. They got the quarterback. They added the defense. They just trying to win this year.
Yeah. Looking for big things out my squad this year, man. D'Amico Ryan's got the team looking nice. PJ, who you got? Houston at Indianapolis.
I got H-Town. Yeah, I think H-Town going to get it today. Not today, but on Sunday. I don't know. I just feel like, man, the Houston Texans offense is going to be a little too much for Indy defense. So I got y'all coming out with the dub. I'm excited to really see this Texan team because I feel like they're going to be possibly the third best team in the AFC this season.
Hey, I'm right with you. I think outside of Baltimore and Kansas City, we got a shot to beat. We got a shot to beat them too, but we got a shot to be better than everybody else in the AFC, and that's saying a lot how the AFC is loaded. So we previewed it a little bit here just a second ago at 3:30 right here on 94.5 Magic. Dallas Cowboys are going to be going to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Browns in this one. We just talked about the Cowboys being a part of this family here at 94.5 Magic, and definitely excited to see them. And they got a big year ahead of them. But give me the dogs, man. I got the dog pound taking over out there in Cleveland. I got the dog pound taking over. Even though, I'll say this. I'm not going to be shocked at all, even if it's a blowout going Dallas's way. But I just think if Deshaun Watson can get back focused on football, he's been focused on other things the last couple of years. He get back focused on football, this Cleveland team is going to be loaded. PJ, Dallas going to Cleveland. Cleveland a 2.5-point favorite. Who you got?
I got the Cowboys. Yeah, I got us. I really don't see us starting off the season losing against the Browns. I just don't see it. I got us coming out with the dub, man. I don't know how we're going to get it, but I'm sure we're going to get it. I really feel like we're going to lean towards our defense to get some stops. So at the end of the day, man, I think we're going to come out with the dub.
Yep. Definitely wouldn't be surprised by that at all. Cleveland 2.5-point favorite right now, so they're thinking Cleveland too, and I'm sure Kyrie will tell us how Dallas is going to do it. Corey, who you got in this one? Cleveland, Dallas coming to Cleveland to take on the Browns.
I'm taking Cleveland, not because of Kyrie either though. Just that's how I feel about it. I feel like they're better overall roster than Dallas is constructed right now. We don't know what Deshaun Watson is going to give, but he didn't have just a terrible year last year. I think he was on an uphill climb getting back to Deshaun Watson. So if he can get back to 85% of Deshaun Watson from Houston, Cleveland going to be a problem.
Yeah, I agree. A super problem. If Deshaun Watson can just play decent, Cleveland is really loaded. Like I know it's the Browns, so nobody thinks about them, but Cleveland is loaded. Kyrell, I guess just tell us how the Cowboys are going to win this. I ain't going to ask you who's going to win.
Yeah, appreciate it. So, yeah, man, Cowboys are going to win this game. Both their tackles are hurt on the Cleveland side, and that's just a bad respect against Micah and Marcus Lawrence. Our second-round draft pick, Marshawn Nealon, surprise this year. So I just think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm thinking about like 17-20. or 17, 14, something like that. But I'm expecting a lot of sacks. Boys, man.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Yeah, Micah's definitely going to try to get after it. I mean, he's been doing a lot of talking in the offseason, so I'm expecting him to play big in this one just because he got to back up all the stuff he done said since they've lost, and we know he definitely is capable of doing that, even though the Browns have one of the better lines in the league. Go ahead, Quay.
But before we leave this, what do you think Myles Garrett going to do then if you think Michael Parsons is going to go crazy, Kyrie?
That's why I picked the Browns is because of Myles Garrett and the possible shaky play at tackle for the Cowboys, even though I like the rookie, but he's still a rookie. Go ahead, Kyrell.
Yeah, he's a rookie, but I'm taking a first-round pick against All-Pro versus 2 against All-Pro. So it's just simple as that, man. Myles Garrett is gonna do what he does, but like I said, man, both Cleveland tackles are hurt. Yeah. We have a rookie and a vet. A first-round rookie, so it's just like, all right, yeah. And like I said, man, our line is going to be better than it was last year.
I'm not disputing that.
Tyler Smith moving back to guard. And then this Oklahoma kid out, the left tackle, man, it's going to be tough. It's a tough matchup, but I'll tell you right now, man, if Myles Garrett comes out there and is stopped by this rookie, yeah, I want to start with the Cowboys on Monday, man.
Oh man, I'm already previewing it. It's gonna be too much. We're gonna start hearing he's the best left tackle in the league. He stopped Myles Garrett, even though they're gonna triple team Myles Garrett. But before we get off of here, want to preview the last game of the Sunday or the football slate for the NFL, and the one I think is probably gonna be the best game: the Jets at the Niners. Right now, the Niners are 4.5-point favorite. I think that's kind of steep, but I understand it with the amount of talent that the 49ers have, and it's at home. But the Jets going to be looking to make a statement. Last year, Aaron Rodgers got hurt on Monday Night Football. Quay, this is your team with the 49ers, so I'll let you start it off. Who you got? Jets at 49ers on Monday.
We giving them the work. We don't give a damn what Aaron Rodgers did. Oh, I'm sorry. We don't care about nothing Aaron Rodgers did. We giving them the work. He coming off and played no games in 2 years. We ain't going for none of that.
No, I could definitely see that. The Jets, they got a lot of question marks at the O-line spot, even though they got Tyron Smith from the Cowboys, but he's got to stay healthy. PJ, who you got in this one? Jets at Niners on Monday Night Football.
I got the Niners. I think they start out the season hot. This ain't gonna be a bad loss for the Jets. I think they're gonna have some flashes of what they possibly can be later on in the season. I just think it's going to be too early for them. They're not really going to be clicking yet as much as, the 49ers. So I got the 49ers coming out hot.
Yep. 49ers, tough team. Kyrell, this one, Jets at the Niners on Monday Night Football. Who you got?
Yeah, I got the Niners, man. I benched Rodgers. I drafted my fantasy league, but I benched him for Tua. I think it's going to be a shootout in Jacksonville. Wherever they But, the Niners are obviously going to put up points. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to try to make a statement, but with his age, the way he's played the last year, he's been healthy. He's a slow starter. So I don't think they're going to do much this Sunday.
Yep, I'm agreeing. I'm taking the 49ers in this one, so the Jets are probably going to win because we all took the Niners. But I'm taking the 49ers in this one. Aaron Rodgers is going to play probably how Aaron Rodgers plays, but I think 49ers just got too much firepower, and hopefully Rodgers gets the ball to Garrett Wilson because I'm starting him at receiver in my fantasy league. Folks, want to thank everybody for watching with us today and listening with us today. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Centex Sports TV on YouTube. Also, check out CentexSports1.com to listen to this content weekdays 5 to 7. Tomorrow, we'll be back with the Friday Night Football edition. Friday Night Football coming up tomorrow. We'll have the pregame show starting as well, and La Vega taking on Salina right here on Centex Sports Network and Centex Sports 1. Also, Infinity Sports Radio, Central Texas, and 94.5 FM. So we're getting ready for that tomorrow. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Fellas, appreciate y'all jumping on the show with me today. We will see you guys tomorrow. Everybody have a good evening and watch some football this weekend.
CBS Sports Central Texas, KWBT HD2 Waco, Temple, Killeen, Fort Hood is CBS Sports Central Texas, changing sports radio.
real and